Okay. Thank you for coming in today. So Valerie, I met with you last week, and I know this week you wanted to go ahead and bring in your daughters. So thank you for coming in, Faye and Maria. So tell me a little bit about what brings you here today with your girls.
Well, as you know, that I've just been recently divorced from their father, and they just moved back in, and there's just this constant bickering at home about almost what feels like everything. So,
And when you say bickering, what does the bickering look like?
they just kind of throw mean words at each other. They're just fighting or yelling at each other from one end of the house to the other, and then they get me in it, and it's just like, they're not little anymore. They're not kids.
How does that make you feel when you hear your daughters bickering back and forth throughout the house?
It's terrible because they they weren't raised that way. They know better, and all of a sudden they just want to act like they're 2 and 3. We've already passed that stage.
So Faye, I know your mom just mentioned that you moved back in. So what happened prior to you moving out of the house?
What do you mean?
So what was going on that caused you to move out of the house? You left with.
I left with dad.
Okay.
So mom and dad divorced. Kind of saw it coming, so it was fine. I just felt like I had a close relationship with dad, so I decided to go live with him and try it out for a couple months. It just wasn't working out. He just had all these unrealistic expectations and just trying to set up different rules and different that I didn't think were appropriate. I am 20 years old. Like, I do have some freedom. I understand there has to be some rules, but I thought it was just over the top, and we weren't clicking anymore. So I decided to move back with mom and thought it'd be fine, but apparently it wasn't. So
how is the relationship? How would you describe the relationship between you and mom now that you've moved back in with her?
Distant. I don't engage with her much. Don't talk to her much. Just seems when I do, we're yelling at each other, we're screaming, and it's not me and Maria. It's just me and her.
Okay. And what? How about the relationship with you and dad?
I mean, even though at first I thought we were rather close. I mean, yeah, we were getting into arguments, this and that, but we were still able to. I don't know if it was just kind of communicate in very nonverbal language or whatever, but it was okay. It wasn't the greatest. We were still talk to each other.
So now moving back in, I'm hearing from your mom, where your mom is saying there's just been a lot more arguing in the house. Is that what's going on?
Yeah.
And the arguing is between
all of us. It'll be me and Maria, or me and her, or just all of us, and shouting at each other.
So, and before you moved out with dad, how was the relationship between you and mom?
I thought it was okay. It was decent. Like I said, I was closer with dad. I doesn't mean I wasn't close to mom, but I just felt closer to him. So I mean, it was good.
What ways did you feel closer to dad?
I don't know. He was just always very supportive of me, or I felt that he showed me the support more, and going to school, getting things done, staying busy, and just kind of there and present, and just kind of talking.
Mm-hmm. And what exactly, you said that the relationship between you and dad changed, and that's what caused you to move back. What were you hoping would happen once you moved back with mom?
That it wouldn't be the same, or I wouldn't feel the same as I did when I was with dad. I mean, it'd feel better I thought it would just go back to being how we were, talking to each other, being close to each other. But then there's different expectations from me than from Maria, so I thought that was unfair, and so that's what we argue about, and mom takes her side, so what the heck, I'm left by myself again.
Uh-huh. So it sounds like it's been very difficult for you to come back and move in with mom and with Maria. And when you say expectations, what exactly do you mean by that?
Well, with dad, he had these expectations of I had to come home, help out with whatever needed to be done in the home, and then be able to do my homework or whatever I had for school or studying that I needed to do, and had to be home by a certain time. Sometimes, yeah, I went out, but sometimes it was for school stuff, and I had to be home by a certain time, and I was like, that's impossible. I have
Uh-huh.
things to do. So I was like, I can't meet those expectations because they go against what you've already taught me.
And what are the rules for all of you? What are the rules in your home, Valerie, for your girls?
Well, pretty much I really haven't set up a lot of rules because they're
Okay.
older, and I kind of felt like they were just gonna keep following the things that we did when we were all together as a family. Um, Faye was always a little bit more closer to her dad, and Maria being the youngest one, I've always, I kind of just always took care of her needs
Uh-huh.
because she's the little one, and so Faye, yeah, she was always a little bit more closer to her dad, but when it comes to the household rules, we kind of just dealt with the situation as it was. So, per se, no bickering and, clean up after yourself and stuff, the majority of the stuff I've always done.
Okay.
But, I just kind of figured we'd all follow those same things that we did before.
So it sounds like a lot of the rules in the home are very unspoken rules. There really isn't anything. And now, adjusting to the change of you coming back, Faye, Marie, I understand for you, it's also a lot of change because in the home now, it's not just you. And for you, Valerie, there's more responsibility as a mom, and
Yeah, definitely.
you're also dealing with a lot of possibly stress, and you did just go through something very difficult, a divorce between you and ex-husband. So it sounds like there's just a lot of emotions also in the home. Maybe do you guys ever talk about the situation that went on with dad, with the divorce between both of you, and kind of the changes in the home?
Yeah, I can't say that we really have.
No, I don't think so.
Okay. No, okay. And adjusting is gonna take a while for everybody for that to happen. But what would you like the rules to be, or how do you think that possibly the disagreements in the home could be somehow possibly addressed? So it sounds like there's these set of rules, but they're not actually rules that any of the children are aware of. So I would encourage to set some rules. So I think it'd be a good opportunity to just set the rules now, and allow for there to be a consensus amongst you guys in the home. So with everybody's feedback, and you as the mom, you do have the authority in the home. What are the rules that you would like to set up in the home?
Well, I know because now I have to work. I'm not home as much, so I don't have the time that I used to do almost all the housework and the dinner and the dishes and all that. So I do kind of just assume that they would help me out with a little bit of that. So that would be a role that I would like to. I know that they're busy as well. They've got homework and school and jobs and part times and stuff, but I'm going to need more help now.
Mhm.
I mean, they're grown girls. They're not little anymore. So that would be one rule that I would like to see maybe implementing in the house.
Yeah, definitely. I can see that you would like for the girls to carry some responsibility. Maria is 18, Faye, you are 20, so you would like for them to kind of put in their part in the home in order for things to look better. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else? I know that there's been, Faye's mentioned there's some arguments between what can be done with one person and the other versus her. Um, so it's important to create that consistency and be able to talk about those rules. Unfortunately, we are not mind readers, and the other person might not know. And the girls might not know what the rules are, and you might not understand why they're doing some of these things.
Well, Brandon Maria is 18, and like I said, she has always been the little one, so I kind of maybe nurture her a little bit more because she's my baby.
Mm-hmm.
So I
More like spoiled.
well, I don't see it as spoiling because she's
Yeah,
the
you won't
younger
see
one.
it, but I do.
She's the younger one.
Exactly.
Okay, so is this kind of what happens at home? The is this kind of what happens when you see the bickering?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you for allowing me to see this, but it's really important in the session to kind of just maintain that respectfulness. I have to do that good
Oh, darn it, just at a good point.
stuff.
What happened? Why did it do that? It slept.
Yeah.
Fell
I
asleep.
think it's still
Oh,
going.
it's still
though, right?
going. Oh, yeah, it's still going. Okay.
Yeah, it'll still go.
Sometimes it does it. Okay, I can edit that part. I'm so sorry. I thought it was your leg.
No.
She's touching, feeling
Sorry.
you up.
It's okay. I can edit that part. Okay.
Okay, so pause for a minute
Okay.
and then go.
So thank you for allowing me to see that. But it's really this is kind of the example of the bickering that happens on in the home.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So one of the rules that we can go ahead and establish today, while you are all here, is just maintaining that respect for the other person. Let's try to let them know, how you're feeling. So kind of like those I messages that I have practiced with you to use with your daughters. So it's basically just, I feel, and then because, so the situation. So it's just really important so we can maintain that communication and allow everybody here to be heard. Okay. Especially with all these changes that are going on, it doesn't sound like much has been spoken about since the divorce. Okay, so there might be a lot of anger, there might be a lot of hurt or and guilt and sadness that maybe some of you are experiencing. Okay. Okay. Maria, how are you feeling? I haven't really heard much from you today.
Um, I'm okay. I think that, talking about the rules that you were mentioning, I think it would be ideal if, those rules would be applied for everyone, not just certain people. Because I feel like sometimes Faye tries to get away with stuff because she's older, and I don't think that's fair.
Um, is and how do you both get along with each other besides the bickering? How did you guys get along together before the divorce?
I would say we get along good before the divorce, but since she's been living with dad for the past 6 months, and we haven't really seen much of each other.
Mhm. And how would you describe the relationship with your mom?
It's good. We get along well. We were doing fine until Faye came back. There was no bickering at all. We would just do our own thing. And we would come home, after she comes home from work and I come home from school, then we usually like cook together. She'll do dishes and I'll clean the table and the stove or whatever it needs to be done. And we had like a system going on, I guess. We would help each other out because there's only two people, but now that there's a third person, it's been hard to get back into that routine.
And I do see a little bit of you becoming maybe a little uncomfortable versus when you first came into the session.
Not uncomfortable. I just realized I'm just a problem then, and that I should just go back with them.
And what makes you think that you are a problem? What did you?
Well, she
hear?
just said it. She said that they were doing fine until I came along, and they had their own system, and then they got along well. They always have. So, and they continue to get along until I came in. So obviously, I'm the problem. I'm the one that's causing all the chaos, and I'm the only one that ever got in trouble. But that's fine. I can take it. I'm the older one. It's fine.
Do you feel like you're a burden?
At this point, yeah.
Okay. Did you ever let them know that that's how you were feeling?
I'm letting them know right now.
That's what she does all the time. She gets upset. And she just doesn't want to talk to us.
Yeah, and it's not that you're not a burden. You're not a burden, but we just want you to participate in, like, if you're gonna cook, if you want to eat, come and help. That's all I'm asking. That I don't need you to fight about it. You want to have dinner, great. Come and have dinner or wash dishes. Just be part of, yeah.
And I'm okay with that. I can do that. I have no problem with that. That's fine. There's just I expect things to if they're expected out of me, they'd be expected out of her as well. Otherwise, what's the point of me having more rules that apply to me and not her?
Because if you're going to help with dinner, there's no sense in having all three of us in there. You and I can cook dinner together.
I'm not talking about dinner. I'm just talking about different rules in the house, like curfews or staying out late or hanging out with friends. I don't hang out with them too often, but that was the same thing at Dad's, where I couldn't go in and go have dinner or something and just be back at a certain time. I had to be 10, 9:30, 10. I'm like, sometimes I'm barely getting out of class at that time.
And this is perfect what you guys are doing, just being able to communicate that back and forth because, it sounds like there's just things that you were not aware of, they moving back into the home. And I can see, the way that both of you work together was working and is working. But now there's now a third person coming in, and it's gonna mean maybe some change in the home and the way things are done. And goes back again to some things that have been very unspoken about. Um, so being able to let her know, I think that was perfect. You letting her know that you would like her to be a part of it. And Faye, it sounds like from what you're telling me, you want to be part of the things that they do. Okay, so creating those opportunities for you guys to be able to do that. But let's kind of switch things around. So I'm gonna have you, Faye, go and sit over there with Mom, and then Maria will have you come over here. Yeah, just give this a try. I know I can see that you sense yourself very distant from Mom. Maria, you have a very good relationship with Mom. You've lived with Mom the whole time. And with Faye, she left the home, and coming back can be very difficult. That's a lot of change to experience already from the divorce, and then now coming back. So let's just give this a try, okay?
Okay.
So what are some things that Valerie, you can do with Faye to bond together?
Well, I know that Faye's really good at cooking, so that's why that was the first suggestion I made. 'Cause she's a really good cook. So
Can you let Faye know that?
that I love when you make your pastas, and your your food has always been the best, and Mom always complimented you on some of those foods that you make, and I just you know I wouldn't mind you teaching me more.
And is there anything that Faye and Maria, you guys have done it together in the past?
She would always take me to get her nails done.
Okay.
Well, we would get our nails done together.
How,
My nails are never done.
how was that experience between both of you?
Always good. That was a good time. We'd always go together and just kind of chit chat and hang out. And that was just good time.
Valerie, what do you remember some fun moments with both of your daughters? Something you guys did?
Um, well, getting my nails done, going to the hairdressers, going shopping, eating. That's what I like. So yeah, just those kinds of things. Almost anything. I like being with my girls. I love being with my girls. They're what makes me stronger.
And Faye, I'm just gonna ask you. I know your mom right now said that she really liked being with both of you. How was that feeling from being over here to sitting next to Mom?
I mean, I get the sense, that I am wanted, I guess, and that Mom does have good memories of us hanging out together. And, we do have those moments, and I want to have some more of those. So, definitely.
So, what I would like for you guys to do, I know you really enjoy the cooking. Maria, you've been able to help Mom with the cooking on a one-on-one. But what I want you to do is so once a week to do something together as a family. Whether it be you all participate in the cooking, or come up with a menu together and then start the cooking process, or it could just be going all to go get your nails done. But I would like for something that involves all of you guys talking together. And with that being said, let's also just review some of the rules that you had said that you would like for the girls to follow now in your home. So what were the rules?
Um, just basically that we have a rule of. A rule would be that we come together and do your own part. If you're gonna cook, please clean up after yourself. If you're gonna if you're gonna make a mess, whether it's cleaning up after yourself, washing your dishes, just do that for me because I can't do it all by myself. Dusting, helping around the house with some of the dusting and vacuuming and washing your own clothes and stuff like
And I know your mom mentioned that obviously you guys all have a very different routine. Your hours are very different. Your mom works too. Both of you work, go to school. So it's very important to go ahead and communicate that to each other. The times that you guys are going to be coming home um, to remember you are also you all have different responsibilities in the home. So mom isn't going to be aware of all those things. So it's important take that initiative to go ahead and let mom know of the times that you will be coming home, and it's important, mom, to follow through with those rules that you are establishing for the girls. Remember, this change is very difficult, so implementing it, being consistent with those rules, reminding them of those rules is going to be very important. Okay. So what would you guys like to do next week as your activity as together?
I don't know if they come up with that. Anything that they would like to do.
Well, I need Phil's, so we can go get her
You
nails
can go
done.
get her nails. Okay,
That
so
sounds like a good idea.
so getting your nails done.
Yeah.
Okay, so now Valerie, I know you allowed the girls to come up with a toy and something they would like to do. I would like for you to come up with a day of when you would like for that to happen.
Well, it's easier for me on the weekends. So if they could let go of their friends for just a minute and hang out with mom.
What would you like? Saturday, Sunday, in the morning, afternoon?
Sunday is fun.
Okay, so
Sunday is
Sunday in
fine.
the morning or afternoon?
Afternoon.
Okay, so Sunday afternoon of next week, I'm going to go, the activity will be for you guys to all go and get your nails done. Take that an opportunity to be able to talk with each other and check in with each other. What was the high of your day? What was the high of the week? What was the low of the week? That's just, what was the really good part of your week and the very low part of your week. Sound like a good idea?
I think so.
Okay, so I'll see you guys next week then.
Thank you.
Freeze.